Good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, December 11, 2021. Okay, so we're gonna start our class. Okay, but first we're gonna make a summary about the previous topic that it was about the future. Okay, so we were talking about the future. Okay, uh, let's start our topic. First, we're gonna make a, as I told you, summary about the future. Okay, why just talking about the future in Spanish, just as in English, you can often use the present tense to refer to something that is going to happen in the future. Okay, for example, we have we're getting the 11 o'clock train, ¿verdad? Cogemos el tren de las 11 o tomamos el tren de las 11 o partimos en el tren de las 11. Okay, I'm going to Madrid tomorrow. Mañana voy a Madrid, ¿verdad? So if you see, we have, for example, the first one, 11, okay? El primero, por ejemplo, las 11. Because right now is 8, son las 8. So this is a sentence that is in present, okay? Okay, es una oración que está en presente. But as we say, the 11 o'clock, obvious, okay? That's obviously that. For example, right now, if you tell me, okay, I'm gonna take the 11 o'clock bus. Okay, I know that you are talking about the future. Okay, you are talking about the future and not about the present. Okay, even when you say that sentence in present, I know that you are talking about the future. Okay, because you say 11 o'clock and right now it's 8 o'clock. Okay, so for example, we are 8, 9, 10, 11, 3 hours more to 11. So that's why we refer to the future. Okay, the future. In the second one, we know that we are talking about the future because we say tomorrow, okay? And then when we say tomorrow, it's not today, it's tomorrow, that's future, okay? So in English, we often use going to with an infinitive to talk about the immediate future or future plans. In Spanish, you can use the present tense of ir followed by an infinitive, okay? For example, you say, he's going to miss the train. He's going to miss the train. Okay. Going to is future in English. Okay. But in Spanish we say va a perder el tren. Okay. It's going to take about half an hour. Va a llevar una media hora. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Voy a hacerlo mañana. Okay. The future tense. What is the future tense? The future tense is a verb tense used to talk about something that will happen or will be true in the future. For example, he'll be here soon. I'll give you a call. What will you do? It will be sunny tomorrow. Okay, this is the future. Okay, using will. Okay, will. This one will. When we use will, we have to take into account that we are not going to do something, to plan something. Will is randomly, okay? We don't change, we don't plan. That is an immediately future, okay? For example, we say, for example, he will be here soon. He will be here soon, okay? In Spanish, él estará aquí pronto, but we don't know when, okay? We don't know when, and that's why we use will, because we use will when we are not going when we are not talking about an exactly future. Okay, for example, I'll give you a call. We know that he or she is going to give a person a call, but we don't know what time, what moment, what day. Okay, so that's why, as we don't know, we are not sure, then we use will. What will you do? Okay, that is another question. What will you do? We don't know what you are going to do. So that's why we use will, okay? Forming the future. In English, we can form the future tense by putting will or its short form before the verb. In Spanish, you have to change the verb ending. So just as hablo means I speak, hablaré means I will speak or I shall speak. Okay, it means that in English, we don't change the meaning of the word, okay? We just add will or going to before the verb and then we have the future. For example, we say, I will speak, okay? So we use will before the verb and then we say the word, the sentence, the whole sentence that we say, for example, I will speak. So we are going to say, we can say to, I'm going to speak, okay? The following table shows the future. Okay, so we are going to continue right now. We have the future here. The future will, future simple, con will. Okay, I'm going to read this in Spanish, okay? Es el futuro en inglés que permite expresar decisiones espontáneas. Okay, remember that when we are talking about randomly, okay, is that we are not planning to do something, okay? Like here says, predictions, acontecimientos futuros que puede alterarse. Se forma con el verbo auxiliar will y el infinitivo del verbo principal. Okay, so that's what I say. When we say that this is spontaneous, it means that we don't know when it's going to happen. Okay, we don't plan that. Okay? Okay, we can plan. We can plan the future with will. Okay. El futuro simple con will se emplea en inglés para expresar una decisión espontánea. That's what I told you right now. Is when we are not, we are here, for example, then we something happened, then we say, oh, and we write, we can say an expression in English. For example, if there is a person that is carrying a box, and then we say, for example, maybe that person is an old person, then I say, hey, I will help you. So then we use will because as in Spanish said, espontáneo, okay? So because I was just in the moment and then I decided to help that person with the box. So that's why I say, hey, I help you. I will help you, no? Number two, una opinión, un deseo, una incertidumbre o una suposición acerca del futuro. For example, you won't finish it in just one day, okay? So won't is a negative form of will, okay? We know that. Won't is a negative form of will, ¿verdad? Won't es la negativo de will, okay? So we say that we use will when we are not we are maybe nervous about something or maybe we say something that we are thinking about the future, okay? For example, you won't finish it in just one day. Imagine that you see a person that is uh, making a thesis in just one day, and then you know that we cannot do a thesis in just one day. So that's why it says that you say, hey, you won't finish it in just one day. Okay. So that is a good example about when we say incertidumbre or suposición. Okay, you know that that a thesis is big for just making in one day. So that's why we say, hey, you will not finish it in just one day. Okay, because you know that a thesis uh, probably is going no one is going to finish that in just one day. Okay, promesas o intenciones. I will do it tomorrow. Okay, so when you promise something, okay, you say, for example, I will do it tomorrow. We know that it's tomorrow that you are going to do that, okay, but it's because you are telling someone that you are going to do something tomorrow, and then this is in these cases we use will. Okay. Oraciones subordinadas, condicionales, ¿ok? que describen situaciones hipotéticas que es posible que ocurra. For example, you say, if I need help, I will tell you. Okay, because when you are not sure that you are going to need help. Okay, so that's why you say, if I need help, I will tell you. Okay, so you are not sure about that. You are not sure that you are going to need help. Okay, indicadores. There are some words that let you know that in these sentences we are going to use will. Okay, so those words or phrases, okay, uh, are, for example, I think. Every time you use I think to talk about the future, then you know that we are going to use will. Okay, for example, you say, I think it will rain. I think it will rain. Okay, pienso que lloverá. Okay, when you use the phrase think, pensar, in future, okay, we know that we are going to use will. Okay, probably, probably I'll be here on time. Okay, for example. Okay, this word probably means that you are not sure if you are going to be there on time or not. Okay, so that's why we use probably. Perhaps or quizás, perhaps the the summer is going to be late. Okay, because you are not sure too. Okay, if the summer is going to be late or early. Okay. Okay, the structure of the word, I mean the sentences, affirmative sentences, is this one. Affirmative. I will speak. But before we have to know what are the pronouns that we use with will. We use all the pronouns. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. Okay. Remember that we use you twice. Okay. The first one is singular when we talk about just one person, and the second one is plural when we talk about so many persons. Okay, many people. Then the affirmative form, I will speak. We just use the pronoun, okay, and then will, and then the verb. Okay, for example, the verb is speak. So you say, I will speak. Okay, negative. I will, then we add not, and then the verb. I will not speak. Okay, question form. Will I speak? Will is going to be first, then I, and then speak. Will I speak? And so, okay. Future simple going to. Futuro simple going to. Es el futuro en inglés, ok, que expresa una conclusión lógica, un plan o una situación programada. Okay, it means that when we are going to use going to for future, for talking about the future, it's because you plan something, you have a program about something, okay, everything is well coordinated, okay, so this is going, in this case, we are going to use going to, okay. Remember that we said that in the future will, we use spontaneously sentences or decisions, okay, about the future, okay. It means that if we compare will with going to, in going to, the use is going to, we promise something, we plan something, okay, we plan, we program, and the difference is because in the, when we use will, we don't plan anything, we just do something right now at the moment, but using going to, we plan something, we make a program about something, okay. Usos. El futuro simple con going to en inglés se expresa para expresar una acción futura programada o planeada con anterioridad. Ejemplo. Mrs. Loki is going to meet a friend in town. Okay. You know that we said that we use going to when we make a program about something that we are going to do in the future. So we got, for example, is going, Mrs. Loki is going to to meet a friend in town. So it means that Mrs. Lokis, she already, maybe she called that friend, and then she said, okay, tomorrow, or tomorrow we are going to meet in the town, in I don't know, in the place that they decided to meet, no? So then we know we are using going to, because the rule says that we can use going to when we program something in the future. Okay, so that's why she's telling Mrs. Loki is going to meet a friend in town, because they already planned, they already programmed that meeting that they were going to do in the town, or that they are going to do in the town. Okay. Una conclusión lógica acerca del futuro. Ejemplo, the sky is blue, it is not going to rain, so Mrs. Lockett is going to leave her umbrella at home. Okay, if you see here, then you say, the sky is blue is that's logic, that if the sky is blue, it is not going to rain. Okay, okay, and then if we say, for example, if we know that it is not going to rain, then that's why she decided not to take an umbrella with her. Okay. Okay. The same that we have in will, when we say that if you word the word sing, probably, um, and perhaps. Okay. Now also we have some phrases that we use, that when we use them, we know in the future, no, we know that we have to use going to. For example, the first one, in 1 year, when you say exactly in 1 year, in 1 day, in 1 month, in 3 months, in 3 days, in 3 years, that is that you are talking. For example, say in 3 days I'm going to go to Madrid. Okay. So if you say that in 3 days you are going to go to Madrid, okay, we say 3 days. You are planning that. Okay, you make a program. Okay, so that's why we use going to. Okay, next week. Next week is also another phrase that when we use that in future, we know that we have to talk about the future. Okay, we know that we have to use going to. Sorry. So we say, for example, next week, next year, next day. Next week, I'm going to go to Panama City. Okay. Tomorrow is another word or phrase that we use. When we use it, we know that we are going to use going to. Okay. The structure. Okay. So we know that the whole pronouns we use I, you, we, she, he, it, they. Okay. And then we got the pronoun plus going to plus the verb. For example, I'm going to speak to you tomorrow. Okay. So we can say negative, I'm not going to speak to you tomorrow. And then the question for, and I'm going to speak to you tomorrow. Okay. So that's a structure. Affirmative sentence, a negative sentence, not, and then the question for. Okay. So we got a little practice here that we are going to solve. When we get home, we we will have dinner. When we get home, we will have dinner. Maybe you say, why do we use will and not going to? We use will here because we don't know when we are going to have the dinner, okay? Or when we are going to get home. So you just say when we get home, but you don't know when you are going to get home, okay? So that's why we use will. We don't know exactly what time we are gonna get home, okay? I know they will feel very happy if they win the match. Remember that we said that when we have a condition, we use will. Okay, so the condition is if they win the match, they will feel very happy. Okay, so if there is a condition here, then we use will. Okay, they are already decide they have already decided on their next summer holiday. Remember that we say that when we program something, then we use going to. So in this sentence, they say they already decide. Okay, it means that they know what are going to do next summer. So that's why here we use they are going to do a tour of Norway. Okay, she thinks that the day that concert. Remember that we say that when we use think, when we use think, we use will. Okay, so she thinks that the day that concert will be will be really exciting. Okay, what are your plans for this evening? I'm going to meet my friends and then go to a birthday party. Maybe you say, why do we use going to? Because remember that we said that when we plan something, we use going to. So here we are saying that what are your plans for this evening? And then if you answer, okay, my plans are that I'm going to. Okay, there we use going to because you have a plan. Okay, that about the future. Okay, if you revise your exam, I'm sure you you will get a good result. Okay, so here is a condition too. If you revise for the exam, okay, so if you don't revise for the exam, then you are not going to get a good result. Okay, so that's why this is a there is a condition. Okay, if you revise for the exam, okay, the condition is that, and then when we use conditions, then we use in future we use will. Okay, the weather forecast is good for the next few days. It is going to be very sunny. We use going to because we have the sentence. The first sentence says the weather forecast is good for the next day. So we have a news, maybe a TV news that we know because we watch TV, and then we realize that the weather forecast said that it's good for the next day. So that's why, as we know that, okay, we use it's going to be very sunny because the logical decision, okay, the logic says that, okay, it's obviously that is there that's going to be a good day for next days. That's going to be clear. So is I'm sure it's going to be very sunny. Okay, I can come on the march tomorrow. I am going to look after. We use I'm going to look after because we know that she or he says that can come because she have a plan that is look for her cousins, maybe. Okay. In the future, I think humans will wake up. Why is a thing? Because will. I'm sorry, because we said in the rule that if we use think, then we know that we are going to use will, okay? He is buying some butter and eggs because he is going to make a cake later, okay? So the logic says that he's buying butter and eggs. So if I understand that, then I can know that okay, he's buying butter and eggs because he's going to make a cake later, okay? So he's planning something before, and then that's why we use going to, okay? This homework is very easy. I know we will do it very quickly, okay? In 5 years time, I will be at university. In 5 years time, I will be at university. We use will be here in both in 11 and 12 because we are not planning something, okay? And that's something that we know at the moment, okay? So, and the number 12 is because we say in 5 years, but we are not sure because remember that, for example, in 5 years, we don't know if a school, and then as we are not sure that we are going to pass a school, so that's why we say will be, because in 5 years it maybe can happen so many things, okay? But it's different if you say next year I'm going to be at university. That's sure because next year we are talking about next year, okay? But 5 years is not sure. So if we are not sure, we use will. That's why. She wants to get her mom a birthday present, but she is not going to buy it today. Okay, so she already decided that she is going to buy a present, no, for her mom, but it is not today. But she's sure that she's going to do that, so that's why we use going to. Okay, the suitcases are packed. They they are going to go on holidays. Okay, so we know that we are using here going to because maybe they planned that they were going to do a trip, because if we see the suitcases are packed, okay, I mean they are ready, they prepare everything, so that's why the future is that they are going to go, okay, in a holiday. If we go to Paris, we will take. Why do we use will? Because we are making a condition. Is we go to Paris, okay, we are not sure that we are going to Paris, okay? If we go to Paris, then we will take lots of pictures. My brother thinks it will snow. We remember that we said that when we use think, immediately we know that the future is going to be will, okay? When we use think, okay, think. It's very late. Hurry up, or we will be late for work. Okay, so remember that it is something randomly at the moment. Okay, so that's why we are using will. Okay, because we are not program something. Maybe the rain, maybe they miss the bus and they say, "Hey, hurry up, or we will be late for work," because you didn't plan that. Okay, Look at the boy at the top of that tree. He is going to fall. Maybe you say, why do we use going to? Because, okay, we use going to because the logic says that if I see a boy at the top of a tree, immediately in my mind, I'm sure that maybe it's going to happen something, okay? So that's why I say, when we use the logic, la lógica, entonces ahí utilizamos going to, ¿verdad? When we go home, we will watch TV. So we use will because we don't know when we are going to get home. Okay. So maybe in the afternoon at 8, maybe we don't have an exactly hour or moment that we are going to get to home. So that's why we use will. Okay. And sure they will lose the match. Here is a normal sentence, so that way we use will. It's very hot in here. I will open the window. So here we are not planning something. We have just a sentence that in the future. So that's why we use will. It's a secret, okay? I will not tell anyone. The same happened, the same instruction. My cousin is going is going to work in the UK for a year. Okay, okay. We use here going to because maybe they know that that person, that the cousin is going to work for 1 year. So because that's program, okay, that's something that you plan. Okay, that's why we use going to. Okay, because we are sure. I will love you forever. I will love you forever. Okay. So when we don't know, as we don't know exactly what forever is, we don't know. Okay, so that's why we use will. But if you say I will love you for 3 years, there you can use will. So you say I'm going to love you for 3 years because you are saying exactly what time. Okay, I'm 30. I will get you a glass of water. Okay, here we use will because this is something that, for example, a condition. If I'm 30, I'm 30, so I will give you a glass of water, okay? The difference between a and an. So we said that we were going to take some topics that we like about the previous period, okay? So I decide in this day to use a and, okay? Because I like this topic, and I think this is an interesting topic, uh, like a way of summary about the whole period, okay? So we got a and an, okay? So there is a difference between a and an. A and have the same meaning. In Spanish, they means un or una, both a and an, okay? Both have the same meaning, okay? A and an are indefinite articles. The difference depends on the sound at the beginning of next word. Okay, so we know that the difference, okay, that when we use a or an, that means both the same, un o una in Spanish. So, but the difference is the sound of the next word. For example, you say a book. There we use a because we got a consonant sound in the first letter of the word. Okay, so I mean, for example, book start with a consonant, the B. So that's why we say a book. Okay, a car start with C, consonant. A dog start with D, consonant. A frog start with F, that is a consonant too. A lemon start with L, that is a consonant too. A truck start with T, that is a consonant too. So we got then Also, the use of and, that when the first letter in a word is a vowel, then we use and. For example, you say an apple. Apple is a vowel, so that's why we have an. An egg, E is a vowel, so that's why we use an. An insect, I is a vowel too, so that's why we use an. An orange, O is a vowel too, so that's why we use an. An umbrella, and then an actor. But we say be careful because, as we said, it depends on the sound of the first letter. It's not the word that we see, no, it's the sound. For example, we have a house, house have an H, but we cannot listen that, okay? Okay. So as we know, the sound is like a J, so that's why we use a house. Okay, an hour, an hour, an hour, and hour because we the H doesn't sound, so that's why we say an hour. An uncle, an uncle, an uncle. Okay, a university, a university. We have here a vowel, but its vowel sounds like a J. Hugh, Hugh, university. That's why we use a. Okay, a university. So we got a little practice just for making what I said. An orange, because we know that orange start with the vowel, the okay, the O. A bottle of wine start with B, consonant. A carton of milk start with C, that is consonant. An ice cream start with a vowel, so that's why we use an. A banana start with B, that is a consonant, that's why we use a. A small melon start with S, that is a consonant, so that's why we use a. A hamburger start with H, that's why we use a. A piece of ham start with P, that is a consonant, that's why we use a. A pizza start with P, that is a consonant, that's why we use a. Apple start with A, that is that's a vowel, that's why we use a. Okay, an apple. Same happen here, an orange. An orange, O is a vowel too, so that's why we use an. A bottle of wine, we use the B, that is a consonant, that's why we use a. A carton of milk is a consonant, the C, so that's why we use a. An ice cream start with I, that is a vowel, so that's why we use an. A banana is a B, consonant, that's why we use a banana. A small melon is S, it's a consonant, that's why we use a. A hamburger start with H, so that's why we use that is H, that is a consonant, so that's why we use a. A piece of ham start with P too, okay? A pizza, an apple because start with A, okay? We also have the WH question: what, when, where, who, whom, which. Okay, remember that what is asking about things. For example, we say, what is your favorite color? Okay, what? Okay, what? When? When we ask about the time or event, activity, when you do, for example, when do you wake up every day? When means cuando in Spanish, okay? Where is about the place. For example, say, where can I obtain that book? ¿Dónde puedo obtener ese libro? Who is about who, quién, ¿verdad? asking about person. Okay, who is at the door? Quién está afuera? Whom? Asking about a person. Oh, just for example, whom is he dating? A quién? I mean, whom means a quién. ¿A quién está invitando él? Which? Asking about an option or choice. Which is the largest city in the world? Okay. ¿Cuál? ¿Verdad? Whose? Whose kids are these? Okay. For example, you say whose? ¿De quién? ¿De quién? ¿De quién, verdad? Asking why, asking about reason. Why do you say that? ¿Por qué dices eso? Why means por qué, ¿verdad? How? Asking about a procedure or method. How was your exam? How was your exam? Okay. So we got a little practice. Okay, so in this first one is what? What's the weather like today? What's the weather? ¿Cómo está el tiempo hoy? Why? Why don't you like apples? Why don't you like apple juice? How about a walk through the forest? When do you play volleyball? Where is my red sweatshirt, Mom? How do Anne and Betty get to school every day? When does your father go to work? Where where is the dog's mom? When are you going for a holiday by the sea again? How do you like your coffee? And then we have, for example, exercise. Also, we use here, what do you like the best? What do you like the best? When does Manolo get up in the morning? Why don't you go by bus, Christina? What hobbies does Carlos like? Where do they go to every week? How old are you, Sylvia? When is Mari's birthday? Where where are my exercise books? What are you doing at the moment, Henry? Where do the Petersons live? Okay. So that's all for today's. Okay. So next week we have a little another summary. Okay, about and that's going to be our last class. So then see you next Saturday. Have a nice weekend and God bless you. Bye bye.